Hello there, we are Geeks Assembled and we've gathered here again today. And everybody, you can blame Canada because we're doing South Park and it's the film, it's bigger, longer and uncut. And let's start off with Alex and Susan first. Everybody's flashing the DVDs.
Well, this movie pushes the boundaries of a lot of things. It is incredibly funny and I don't know. It's just typical South Park humor. Without the theme song though, it still leaves you wondering, how to involve Les Claypool, but there were so many cool cool little vignettes. Like there was the vignette of Kyle's mom, and it turns into a song, and the vignette of her getting angry with everything and turning the blame on Canada, and that's turned into a song. So pretty much this is a musical and stuff. And then there's the funny vignette with Satan and Saddam Hussein, as lovers in bed and stuff. And I don't remember if that turned into a song, but it was terrific. The boys were trying to watch the Terrence and Phillip movie. Terrence and Phillip movie, which was nothing but sex and profanity and vulgarity and fart jokes. And so, the boys were all about that. And the whole school wanted to do it. And so when they came back, they were just swearing and swearing and swearing. So the teachers were, they were having none of that, except for eventually they were all swearing and stuff. And so you can always drive your teachers crazy. I mean, in 6th grade, the class that I joined the next year caused our art teacher, I wasn't there, but they caused our art teacher to lock herself in the closet and cry because students get just that way, just push all the boundaries and stuff, and you can drive your teachers crazy.
Susan, be honest.
I wasn't even there. I didn't move there till I was 12, till I was in 7th grade. And this happened the year before in 6th grade. But our class was mean. Anyway, so it was crazy. And it was a long time ago in Bozeman, Montana. So anyway, let's see. The other thing that was really, really immensely hilarious about this was the war scene at the end. That was very funny. Big songs, and then there's Big Gay Al, and we always love Big Gay Al. He's hilarious. Anyway, that's about all my favorite vignettes and moments, and here's Alex.
All right. Well, like I said, when I first saw the TV special or the show, I didn't like it, but I started to understand sort of what they were going for, and unfortunately, it does kind of match the society for the last 20 years. That there's only really a few, things in life that really, really offends people as a whole. I'm not going to mention them here, but abusing animals and other weird, stuff like that. Everything else seems to be kind of a free-for-all. But I do take the point that, yeah, if it's going to be a question of killing people or going to war, then yeah, I might accept swearing. I was kind of taught you use it when it's an emergency. You don't just keep using it and using it and using it and saying it every 5 minutes.
If
Um,
somebody caused you to swear, would you blame Canada?
no, because I know it's just a movie.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, I do like the show as a general rule, and I do get what they're sort of going for. I like some of the weird humor about religion and other things that they do. I don't always agree with it, but I can definitely see their point. And like I said, I think it just sort of reflects a lot of society. And as we know, Cartman is sort of a ripoff or a tribute of the first 2 years of Archie Bunker from All in the Family. And that was based on another British show where the guy was extremely racist and set in his ways. So, but I like all the music in here. I don't like everything in the movie, but I can say that I like it 90%, and I am kind of glad that they've continued it 22 years on. And I can definitely see, some of the points that they make about fame and about, money and how it changes people and how they have a couple of other characters that they actually don't show in the movie that are extremely wild and bad examples for any kids. Never mind Broslowski there, who thinks that swearing is the worst thing you can do, and then she goes and kills people. So that's pretty strange. I understand that she wants children to be innocent, but I wouldn't exactly say
That's because Kyle's mom is a
okay,
bitch.
okay. But yeah, I mean it's I wouldn't exactly say that the town is conducive to a wholesome environment. But then again, how many people would be watching it if it was totally wholesome? This isn't Mr. Rogers. This is anti Mr. Rogers. Anyway.
Yep.
Was that it? Let's go to Lee.
Yeah, I've been a fan of South Park since it first started. 22, 23 years on down the line, and they haven't changed. They do the same sort of thing. They politically, they take something out of what's happening in the world and put it into a story. And this one was, Saddam Hussein and stuff like that. I rewatched it. I totally forgot it was a musical until I started rewatching it again this week. Then it reminded me that I had the soundtrack, and because the episodes on TV aren't usually musically based, so this one, yeah, I like it. It's got some brilliant, weird characters. My favourite, of course, is Mr. Garrison and Mr. Hat.
Oh, yes.
In the later series, Mr. Hat disappears and we get Mr. Slave, which is a man in leather gear, but we don't talk about that. We haven't seen that one then.
No, I've only seen this one.
Oh, right. Yeah, I like it. Trey Parker and Matt Stone, as it's been said, when South Park, they pushed the boundaries, they pushed it, and this one, as it says in the title, is uncut, because I think the first couple of seasons of South Park, the expletives were bleeped.
Right.
Till this movie came along, hence the uncut, when all the swearing was unbleeped.
Yeah, because all that bleeping would get rather annoying in this film.
Yeah. But I think
bleep.
Yeah. I mean, the songs in this are brilliant. I mean, brilliantly done. And it's good to see that I think this movie came along after the second or the third season of the TV series. I can't remember when. And they didn't change the style of the animation. They've always sort of stuck to the same sort of animation.
Not really.
No, when you see South Park, it's South Park. You don't get that confused with Simpsons animation. You know what I mean? What I'm trying to say is,
yeah, but they've updated it, haven't they? I've seen newer clips of the newer seasons, and they look very different to this. say, the
Yeah,
animation. This is
but-
very, very basic, if you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
that's what I'm saying. But you immediately know it's the South Park animation.
Okay, but the two nations are animated different.
Yes, they are.
Americans are solid with a mouth, and Canadians are
The Canadians are like that, aren't they? They speak,
split in
with the
half.
jumping. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's, if I remember rightly, this might be the only time that Kenny says any words.
And he shows his face.
He says
Shows his
words,
face.
you just can barely hear them.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's muffled by the hood.
Yeah, but he shows his face at the end.
That's what it shows his face and it speaks.
Yeah.
And
Well,
he
I
goes
mean,
up to heaven. He goes up to heaven with the boobies.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, again, it.
The next episode is back. You know, he dies every episode.
Oh, is he? I thought that was his final appearance.
You bastards!
Oh, right. Okay. Because he went off to heaven,
Doing joke every episode. You've killed Kenny, you bastards.
Yeah, I mean, basically, that's the other thing about South Park is that they're using the tropes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he died by the potato, didn't he? He set himself on fire. Then he had a potato in his heart. And it exploded.
Fitted by George Clooney.
Yeah,
that was also, you had Eric Idle from Monty Python, who played the professor, who made this anti-swearing machine.
Oh, was that him?
Yeah.
I didn't
Idle, yeah. There've been loads of local celebrities who have made guest appearances in the episode. But I do like this. It does feel like just an elongated episode. I mean, 78 minutes? So roughly you're looking at 3 episodes put together.
It was an hour and 20 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah. So...
Yeah. Because as the series goes on, they retire they killed Kenny.
Yeah.
And then they brought in Butters, who is a lot, he's kind of a super sweet character, which doesn't make any sense with the rest of the town.
But very nervous.
Yeah, very nervous too. And then they brought back Kenny as a superhero, and in a way sort of made him a sci-fi superhero on the fact that he can't die.
So who was that goth kid then? Does he appear in more of it?
Yeah, he appears in more
kid,
of the because
to go to Big Gay Al and
because the like
for
instance
Big Gay Al.
Well, for instance, the goth characters are just kind of mostly sitting around going, "Oh, life stinks," and I think they were sort of making a little bit of an allegory to French philosophy and making an allegory toward a lot of French movies.
Yeah, you know what?
Back in the old days, back in the when they go on board or whatever. And then Butters, there's an episode where Butters sort of counters that and says, "Well, I feel pain and it's awful, but at least I know I'm alive." Because there was an episode where he kind of fell in love with a Hooters-style waitress, and finally his parents came by and said, "Butters, she's just doing that so that you'll like her and tip her. She doesn't mean it. She doesn't. You think you're in love with her, but she doesn't mean. She's just being flirty and stuff so that you'll keep coming back." So they've sort of had a lot of episodes where, with the exception of Cartman, it's either to show weakness in the parents or history, like. What's the name? Is it Stan's dad or Kyle's dad that was in a boy band? And they illustrated in the story that, the minute he got kicked out of the band or he didn't have money, they actually showed in the story that everybody said, "Bye, see ya." They were so close to him when he was in the boy band and making money. And then the minute they found out that he wasn't in the boy band anymore, bye, they left, they ran. It shows it right on screen that they run right away.
So this was 1999, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So this was before Saddam Hussein actually was killed, isn't it? Yeah, this is before. But do you think Saddam being in it dates this film a bit?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah, I think it does.
Slightly, yeah.
Yeah.
They could have used Hitler, but Saddam Hussein.
Because Hitler, people still remember Saddam Hussein, but Hitler is people recognize him as a bigger evil, really, don't they? I mean, not that you should compare evil people to each other, but, people.
Well, when you're comparing
Hitler is one of
Saddam Hussein to Satan, and then they're, they're in a relationship, it's just
Yeah. Yeah, I think that dates it, but the thing that doesn't date it is the censorship storyline, the plot of it. The whole plot is censorship. That's the whole point of the movie. You know, it's a movie about censorship, about a movie within the movie itself, you know, the show that they've got on there. And that is still relevant to this day because censorship is still a big worry and a big thing. However, I do think that this film is crap. I gotta say, I didn't enjoy it. I didn't find it remotely in any way funny. And that's not because I don't find swearing funny, because I think swearing can be funny. However, it has to be within the confines of a joke. And it just wasn't.
Yeah.
It was just F this, F that, fuck, fuck, fuck. And that was it. And literally towards at the beginning, every other word was just a swear word. And it was like, yeah, but if it was in the context of something, like telling a joke and swearing within that joke, the joke is still funny. Swearing on its own is not funny because it's not the joke.
Yeah.
So just saying it was just like, yeah, fuck. And then it was horse fucker and things like that. And it was like, yeah, but, you know, they're words said all the time, to be honest, aren't they? People say fuck all the time. What's funny about it? Fuck.
Well,
you're not
again,
laughing. You know, what the hell is funny? A lot of it was just a lot of swearing that was unfunny. And the problem is that time could have been filled with actual clever jokes. And frankly, it was lacking that.
Yeah. Well, it's the fact that that I mean it's coming at the stereotypes. It's not it. You know, these are not just fuck jokes. These are, you know, stereotype bashing. You know, kind of humorous moments.
I suppose stereotypes only work if you know a character like that. And really, I don't know anybody like that swears 24/7 in my life.
Well, you know, let me tell you, when you're from a mountain town in Colorado or Montana, in my case, sure enough.
Well,
and I know that the humor is different, but people would say the same thing about like Eddie Izzard because of his.
Eddie Izzard, yeah.
He's rather profane in his comedy, but then again, I know people like the people that he's making fun of. You know,
the only joke that actually shocked me in this slightly was the coat hanger joke.
Yeah, that was a little offensive, yeah. But
yeah, when he said about
kick the baby.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, trying to pierce the heart of when he was a child, you know, when he was a baby in the womb, and then his mother trying to pierce his heart with a coat hanger. I thought that was a bit.
And how about kick the baby?
There's a lot worse in the series.
Yeah, I mean, again,
I just thought that was the most outrageous. That was the most, I would say, offensive joke.
Yeah.
In the film.
Well, I mean, again, remember,
unless anybody can think of others, but that's one that stood out to me.
I mean, this is a cartoon. This is taken from the perspective of Braslavsky, the mother, who somehow is more offended by dirty words and dirty actions. And I think that's also the point of the movie, is that she actually kills somebody. I mean, if it's a question of swearing versus killing somebody, I'll take the swearing all the time. But the other problem is, remember, this is supposed to be like a 20-minute cartoon on TV. They know they're going to edit it. You know, they're going to show it maybe on the YouTube until Viacom, you know, takes it down and all that. So, again, they may be presenting jokes, just like Chef does and did for most of his run have, you know, sort of sexually oriented songs and singing it to 9-year-old kids. And technically that is bad, actually. But then they made it even worse before he died. So it's kind of like, you know, so not only are they pushing the envelope, but they're pushing the envelope to offend.
Yeah.
The thing is, this is an American audience, not a British audience. That, you know, but they did have a story where Cartman dressed up as a Korean prostitute and did the "Me Love You a Long Time" and all that. So you sort of have to realize it's in the context of, you know, like I was with a group, thankfully I left, where they said if you can't say something in 6 seconds, don't say it. So you can imagine how ignorant and how cheap, you know, the sentences are if you can only, you know, say it in 6 seconds.
Yeah, I
You know
can't
what
see
I mean?
you fitting
So
in that at
somehow,
all.
you know, I was with a group that thought that this was clever, and I kind of went, "That's stupid." You know?
I mean, we're fair. We give you about 60 minutes per sentence.
No, but I'm saying they were saying that, you know, everybody should talk in 6
And
seconds.
still we end up cutting you
Even
off.
you can barely form even 3 sentences in 6 seconds unless it's help me.
Do you
I'm
know what,
following
Alex?
some
That's the
good, you know,
brilliant rule to
like
have.
that.
Now, I'm going to ask Susan a question, and I want her to answer it in 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Susan, was the songs filler?
No, the songs were to heighten the.
No, I'm afraid you've gone over your 6
impact.
seconds. Oh, no. We can't be having that. No, carry on.
The songs were there to heighten the emotional impact.
So you don't think they were filler then?
As
To
with
fill the
all
runtime.
musicals, you sing a song and it engages the more kinetic stuff, especially with a cartoon.
I'm sorry, Alec, but you can't say the songs was filler when you like musicals like Frozen.
Yeah, but the
And
songs weren't as good. No. Absolutely not. No. Frozen enhances the film and it advances the plot. Let It Go shows Elsa changing.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it does. It shows Elsa changing from a young girl, from a young woman, to being the Ice Queen.
No, it didn't.
To who she is. Yes, it does. It shows her growing. That's what she's letting it go. Let it go. Let it go. And then she builds her ice castle.
No.
She does. Does she not build her ice castle during the Let It Go song? She does. It shows development. These songs do not show development.
Yes, they do.
They are called filler. And the reason why they're filler is because this is 3 episodes strung together, as Lee said at the beginning of this cast.
Yeah, I said.
There you go.
The songs make the movie.
It's filler because it's just 3 episodes fitted together, and they needed extra time.
No. Can I just say one word, Alec?
No.
Bollocks.
No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you're not. You're not having any more words.
Oh, that's not true.
Look what you made Alex do. You've made Alex leave. You've upset
No, he's just busy. Just chill out, okay?
him. So you don't think the songs are filler then, Lee? You don't? You like the songs?
No, neither do I. And you asked me first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. No, I know. I asked you. I'm just asking Lee now.
And then you argued with me, and then you went on to Lee, so you wouldn't have to hear my retort.
Excuse me, can you not argue with me, please?
You're arguing with us. Anyway, yeah, I mean, again, it's, you know, the other thing, too, is it is being profane on purpose as well.
Well, I agree, and I like the profanity. I really like the fact that you can almost every single profane word in the American English vernacular is used in this movie.
No, they couldn't use mother. That's why they went to Uncle you know what, because they couldn't use mother you know what, because then it would be an NC-17 movie.
All right.
Anyway, again, there's other things now. After 20 years, there's still a lot more things that are profane beside this movie. You listen to a lot of rap songs, and they don't even try to hide it anymore with innuendo. And
so if they made a sequel to this film now, do you think it would be more offensive or less offensive?
Way more offensive.
I mean,
Is,
again,
is South Park still very offensive? Is it still,
Oh, hell yeah.
or is it toned down a bit?
No. I mean, and now they take pot shots at all these stars. I mean, one of their favorite to make fun of is Barbara Streisand
not to mention Tom Cruise.
and Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, well.
There's 2 episodes of South Park what has not been broadcast in the UK.
Is that the Muhammad one?
It's called, I think it was the 200th episode. It was called 200.
Yeah.
And it was where they had to go every Muhammad and
Yeah, I heard about that one. Yeah.
it was never broadcast. It's still, and it was not released on DVD in the season box set. So the box set's missing 2 episodes for some reason.
Because having depicting an image of Muhammad is against
You can depict an image, but you can't not make fun of him.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah.
But
No, the Quran says you can show a picture of him,
Yeah.
but it says that if you make fun of him, you're insulting God, and you shall be.
Because I know they've had Jesus a few times, haven't they, appear?
well, yeah, he's been a chat show host. He's been,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the other issue too is the fact that even South Park has admitted that just to use religion to tell people, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that, is basically wrong in most cases. So remember, this is the era of the 90s cable. They also had an episode where they said, well, now HBO is going to show, the S word all the time. You know what that is.
No.
And they later on in the story, they went, oh, they said the S word so much that you didn't even, recognize, you didn't even hear it after a while. Yep. So remember, this was made, they were trying to be shocking. They were trying to be quote unquote funny. Yes, it is not a typical American humor, but it is American humor in the fact that it's very quick. There's not a lot of setup to the punchline. And I think that's probably why who doesn't like it. But
you can say my name. It's fine. Yeah, I am here.
Okay. So, okay, but I didn't want to point you out exactly.
Yeah. All right. To protect me from the massive viewers we have.
Right. And the other question is, when Mr. Mackey sings "It's Easy, okay," if you really listen to the song, he even admits that part of the reason why he says "okay" so much is he's actually saying the F word as well. So that's the other thing too that people forget, that you can come up with your own swear words.
Yes,
you don't have to use the agreed words.
Yes, how?
So you can also use,
very easily done. How?
Fudge or whatever other word you want to use.
Or hull.
Oh, hull. Right. Hull off.
So, I mean, and I've even heard comedians in French and Spanish and other languages that have sworn as far as their language is concerned, or even made up a word.
Yeah.
So.
Mierda.
Okay.
No, I mean, I don't mind swearing in the film. It's just that I thought the film lacked actual jokes. And I just thought the swearing was like you're just trying to get a cheap laugh.
Yeah, no, I can see your point of view, but again, is it based on a setup or a punchline? Is it a catchphrase like Mr. Mackey is a catchphrase, okay, and Cartman is a catchphrase where he goes, "Screw you guys, I'm going home," and all these other things. Remember, it's American TV. It's not really supposed to be that intellectual anyway.
I know it's not. It is in a way. It is, I think, meant to be intellectual, but in some way, it isn't. The censorship stuff is an important. Is an important thing because censorship is we never want it to happen. Censorship shouldn't.
Well, again, as they illustrated in the movie, it also depends on what you mean. Is it because you have an opinion and you're not allowed to say it because they consider it profane, or is it just profane words?
Well, the problem is with censorship is that some things should be censored. But what those things are, there is a boundary.
Right.
Like
So
there is need to censorship. So YouTube censors. YouTube censors some videos on the site, and they do it for very good reasons. Whether it because it be related to, crime or whatever, or an incident.
I think most people would understand that. I don't want to see crime.
Yeah, censoring stuff like that is correct, but then censoring someone for a more mundane thing is where the worry comes in. It's if censorship starts to creep over the line of, acceptability, really.
Well, I mean, here's the other irony, and I think that's what they're trying to get to as well, but they can't say it in front of the kids, which is from the 50s to the 90s, there was different things that were censored. For instance, in America, there was a couple of times on newscasts where somebody did commit suicide or practically committed suicide in front of the camera. And then there's other times, like recently, even yesterday, in this state, Massachusetts, unfortunately, a sewer backed up and then everything sprayed out of the toilet, if you know what I mean. So I know some people that would find that incredible.
I would find that hilarious.
Disgusting.
I would find that.
I literally had to look away. It
happened to you too.
Horrible.
No, this was on the news.
It happened to you too.
No,
this was on the network news.
Oh, all right. Oh.
So sometimes, like there was another case which was very sad, where this police cruiser accidentally ran over a child.
Oh, dear,
and they showed it, and I'm like, do we have to show it 10 times in a row?
Yeah.
I mean, thankfully the baby wasn't killed, but it was run over.
Oh my God, how was it not killed?
Yeah. So again, is that censorship to say, well, we won't show, a baby being run over accidentally with a police crew, a big SUV with police, designs and colors. I didn't want to see it replayed 10 times in a row.
Yeah, that's quite distressing to watch, isn't it?
So that's the other reality is it censorship because
you just keep the mic.
Okay, you want
it's like when a serious it's like when a serious
no, but you
all right.
What you're saying.
Relax.
Okay.
She's gonna start swearing again now.
No, but I mean again, like we know horror movies, we know movies, they show, nasty things for the purpose of...
Yeah, but they're not real. When something is real, that's when it affects you. When something is really
we remember from the 50s to the 90s.
This is a cartoon, it's not real.
Can I finish? Where they would edit, violent scenes out of movies, or they would say at the beginning, this has been, edited, etc. So again, it also depends on, is it because it's real or is it because you just find it offensive or you find the situation that it's setting up offensive? You know what I mean? And there's other examples, but I can't mention those because it's way off script and it's way nastier.
I wonder how you, if you were Canadian when this film came out living in Canada, how would you have felt about this film? I mean... they don't really like Canada, do they?
Fun of Canada.
Yeah.
They literally split the characters in half. Anyway, Lee wanted to say something, so you should probably let him say something.
No, he said a lot this evening. He said plenty.
Unless you're censoring him.
Yeah, I'm going to censor him. That's it, Alex. I've had enough. I'm censoring him.
And I got the mic back, so I'm taking over this chair.
So you're censoring Alex now?
Thank God.
I just stole the microphone.
Thank the devil.
Oh, dear.
Anyway, back to the movie.
What movie?
Yes.
Were we discussing a movie?
Yes. We went off on tangent somewhere else.
Yeah. Did we? I don't know. I thought we were talking about censorship.
We were talking about the movie.
The movie is about censorship.
Yeah, but then we went on some other route.
Did we?
Yeah.
I don't recall that.
Anyway, have you been asking people what their favourite moments are?
Yes.
Or have you forgotten about that?
What are your favourite moments, Alex and Susan? Let's ignore Lee.
How about Lee? How about Lee saying it?
Okay. What's your favourite moment?
Lee.
Me? All right. Okay. So it's back to me now, is it?
Hey, no, Alex and Susan. Alex and Susan, what's your favourite moments?
Mike's down. Go Lee.
Right.
Yeah, go, Lee. Go on. Off of you.
I liked it when they bombed the Baldwins. I thought that was brilliant. But also, Winona Ryder's ping pong trick. I thought was good.
Yeah, but she's just using, you know.
Yeah, that's what. But it plays with your mind. You think, oh God, they're not doing enough of that.
But I have seen that in Benidorm.
Especially
but it wasn't with the badminton band.
Queen of the Desert.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I just like the. I mean, the portrayal of all the characters are the same characters that they portray in the series. So they don't change any of the characteristics there. But I do love the songs. The songs bring it more to life. You know, Carl's mom's a big fat bitch, biggest bitch in the whole wide world. I just love that song, and that is Cartman down to a T. You know,
and she's standing right behind him. Yeah.
Yeah.
That always happens in every single comedy.
I thought you were going to say it always happens to you. But no, I just say Big Gail's big number. That's brilliant. That, but because I know Alid loves that one because he shows a bit of Willie.
Yes, I do like the Willie. It's going to get a point for the Willie.
But and they haven't changed it as well. That Stan is always violently sick when he's around Wendy.
What was all that about? I don't even get what that was about. Why was he being sick all the time?
He's in love with Wendy, but he's so nervous about saying that he loves her. He's sick all the time.
He vomits on her.
So that really, that didn't come across very well for.
Well, no, but if you watch this TV series, that you'd have known that, but you're just a heathen. You don't watch things.
I do watch things. What you on about?
No, you don't.
I was watching Star Trek Discovery earlier. Brilliant. I like it. Do you like it, Susan?
Yeah.
Stop changing the subject.
It's really good.
Stop changing the subject. We're talking about this movie.
I mean, like I said,
he's censoring me.
Yeah.
He's all about.
That's all right.
Bangs on about
repressing me. He's repressing me.
Yes, he's repressing me. Exactly, Susan.
What are you doing? Are you what?
I'm trying to
covering the camera.
No, what are you doing? Anyway,
listen.
I do like Stan's mom, even though it has the mock Chinese and the mock. Will you stop? The mock Chinese and the mock, elements. I don't know if that was making fun of the Michael Jackson video intentionally or unintentionally, and they have made fun of him a lot as well. But I mean, again, this is 1999, so remember that now it's changed a little bit. And again, they also had the soundtrack before this movie, Chef Aid, and all this other stuff. Again, it depends on what it is and how it's used, and I think that's the other point that they're illustrating. I did like that it's easy okay. And like I said, he admits he uses okay in the place of the F word sometimes. And he's right. I mean, you can substitute words. You could train yourself not to swear and all that. Cartman, of course. Yeah, Cartman, of course. He is really the unofficial bad guy and he is official bad guy in the series. And there was 2 episodes where they did parody The Omen, and his bad side came back, and he was quote unquote normal for him. And then there was another episode where the dog whisperer character, Caesar Milan, actually disciplined Cartman for once, and that was hilarious, seeing him get his comeuppance, where he's talking, the dog whisperer is there, his mother is there, and Cartman's going, give me the chicken, you know, and he's yelling and screaming and carrying on. And Caesar just kind of grabs, you know, pinches his neck, and he finally, you know, behaves. So, you know, you have to remember it's sort of quick jokes. It's kind of quick videos. They've made fun of the internet. They've made fun of the panda. They've made fun of the baby laughing on the internet. They've made fun of all these things. So you have to remember in that context that it's not, you know, really, it's not a really intellectual show, except for the moral or the point that they're trying to make. You know, they made a cartoon about they made a story about you know, dads fighting at the sports games that the kids are at, you know. So yeah, you have to remember in that context that that's what South Park's, you know, trying to do. And then Mr. Garrison has been a man, he's been a woman, he's been a man again. He had temporary surgery where he looked like David Hasselhoff. So, you know, they try to do all these little pop culture jokes and references.
You gotta go for your favorite moments.
And my favorite, and one of my favorite moments is what would Brad Boitano do? And I've said a lot of the other ones. So
nobody's blamed Canada yet.
Oh, I blame Canada all the time.
Right, let's move on to final say and score. Let's go for Alex and Susan.
Well, 1999, it's sort of over the top and really a fun cast. I didn't realize that it had a fun cast. I didn't realize that that the guy Mike Judge from Beavis and Butthead fame was in this. Eric Idle was in this, and I just those two revelations kind of blow me away. Anyway, it was fun to see it again. I'll give it an 8. Pretty fun, enjoyable. Anyway.
Yeah, like I said, you know, originally I didn't like it. I thought it was profane and I thought it wasn't funny. But as I started watching it, I saw sort of what they were, you know, hinting at, making fun of this, making fun of that, making fun of reality shows, making fun of, you know, movies and everything. And I do like the pop culture references. They may not really be jokes. Alad's right about that. They're not exactly jokes, but again, you know, remember, this is supposed to be a 30-minute show. And again, it's going to be cut into so many pieces, whether it's online or not, that maybe they're worried about having a long joke. But I've seen them make fun of Scooby-Doo. I've seen them make fun of reality shows. I've seen them make fun of cops. They've done almost everything already anyway. They've made fun of Kanye West. They've made fun of Tom Cruise, Barbara Streisand. They've made fun of Britney Spears, Jennifer Lopez, Iggy Azalea. They've made a lot of. I don't know how Paris Hilton didn't sue them, because they were pretty much saying that she was you know what from you know where, Paris Hilton. So you know, so they've done a lot of stuff, and in a way I understand it. And it does sort of make fun of the society now, that there's only like 5 things that in the you know town that they agree is truly offensive, and everything else is sort of, you know, made fun of. So I'll give it an 8, but I do like the series better as a whole. And there were other episodes that were actually 3 parts, so that was actually a little mini movie. Like Imagination Land is almost 4 parts, where they brought in Wonder Woman and other people.
Right, let's go. Let's move on to Lee.
As I said at the beginning, I do love South Park. I've liked it from day one. I get the humour. Some people don't. Valid. But
What humour?
I get the humour. yeah. Is it as good as the TV series? No, it's not. But it does what it says on the tin. It's come there to be uncut, to shock people with the language, which it did do. So I think I'm going to go the same. I think I'm going to give it 8 dying giraffes out of 10.
Thank you for that, Lee, and for the dying giraffe sound. So everybody's giving it an 8 then. You gave it an 8, didn't you, Susan?
I gave it an 8 too.
So, yeah, I've already said what I think of this film. I think there was a lot of talking, a lot of swearing, but not many jokes. And for a comedy, it has to make me laugh. It has to make me laugh. It's a comedy. It has to make me laugh. And there's funnier comedy films out there. There's funnier TV shows out there, even though I've not watched a TV show. But going by this film, don't give me much hope for the TV show either. So it's going to be a 3, and I'm going to give it a 3 for 2 reasons. The willies. Showed a bit of Willy. If you show a bit of Willy in a film or a TV show, you're automatically going to get a point. That is a point. And then the other 2 points. I'm back now. And the other 2 points are for. No, they're not for anything. I'm going to give it 1 point. So there
Predictable.
We knew this was going to happen, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
That's South Park. Bigger, longer.
We've sort of got you pegged there, Alan.
Yeah.
He's busy talking to somebody else. But anyway.
Showing interest in our cast. He's just talking to other people.
Yeah, well, thank you for listening and watching, and do like and subscribe and share widely.
It keeps coming in. I can't help it.
Yeah, I know.
Ignore the host. Let's carry on, Susan.
He heard Willie and just thought I'd come in.
Not getting any.
Oh dear. Well, speaking of censorship,
I could take the camera into the other room if you want.
Speaking of censorship,
yeah, you take the camera into the other room and you don't just leave it there and bugger off.
Yeah. Nice one, Lee.
I'm going to blame Canada for your behaviour tonight, Lee, because I think it's been
blame Canada.
Dear. It's upside down. It's right side up and sideways.
Respect my authority.
What?
Well, this film has been fucking cock-ass shit. And
you do a little Cartman tribute, eh?
Oh yeah. Do you want some cheesy puffs?
And we're all gonna fuck off now.
Mom, I want some cheesy
So look after yourself. Take care, and don't bother following us. Don't bother subscribing.
Okay.
We're not interested.
Okay.
Ta-ta.
Drugs are bad, okay?